This string has to be one of the hardest strings that I've reviewed on this channel so far. Have you heard about the TOROLINE WASABI? You probably do, because this string is all over YouTube right now. But is it really that good, and is it a string that you could like? I'm gonna answer that in this video. So in order to make the Wasabi review, I strung my Wilson Blade V9 16x19 at 52 pounds. I'm gonna divide this review in 4 sections. You're gonna have power, control, feel, and then spin. Let's start this review by talking about the beginning of this video. It was actually one of the hardest reviews that I had to do on this channel. Not because the Wasabi is not a great string, it's because it took me a lot of time to just understand what the Wasabi plays like. Usually when I'm doing a string review, it's pretty easy. I review a lot of string during a year, so I just string the racket, try it a couple of times, and then that's it. But I have to be honest, with this one, it was so hard. So this square shape copolymer string is actually pretty interesting in terms of control. I would separate control into 2 factors. First, you have the stiffness of the string. This string is actually really comfortable, so you're not getting any control by the stiffness of the string. But then this string creates a lot of spin, so the control is actually achieved by spin. So if you're not a player that use a lot of spin in their shot, then you might lack a bit of control with this TOROLINE WASABI. But other than that, if you have a modern game, control is definitely not an issue with this string. In terms of power, I would have to say that it's pretty comparable to what I've said with the control section. If you're the type of player that hits with a lot of spin, you're gonna feel like this string is kind of control oriented. But if you're hitting a flatter shot, then the string will not work as much as, let's say, when you're putting some spin. So yes, you can achieve a bit more power, but it's definitely not one of the most powerful, let's say, copolymer string, whatever. Definitely not meant for that. But one of the things that you need to take into consideration when you're talking about power is not only the string, but it's how this string makes you feel when you're playing. The reason is quite simple. If you're playing with a powerful string, yes, the ball will go out pretty quick of your racket, and that's cool. But it can happen that you're losing confidence because you want to control the ball when it goes out of your racket. But on the other side, with this racket, the snapback and the durability of this string are incredibly good. And so it creates a consistent feel that helps you to just go for your shot. And so even though this string is not powerful, it will help you to generate some power because you can hit fully confident like no other string. So no, power is not a stands out of this string, but it will help you to generate power by your own. In terms of spin, that's the section that took me probably the most amount of time to just figure things out. And let me explain the process that I went through when I was reviewing this string on the court. The first time that I've hit with this string, I just felt like this string was, I don't know, was feeling like a bit like Courage Bomb Smash Iron. So a pretty stiff string that reacts pretty uniquely, but that is a type of string that I really like. And the reason why I was feeling this way is just that when I had lower ball, I just felt like it was impossible for me to generate that top spin to make the ball pass the net. But on the other side, when I was hitting normal ball, yes, the spin was there. But in general, the spin is always there due to the way that I'm hitting my shot. So I didn't really realize that this string was quite good in terms of spin. But then I've started to think a bit more about this, and I realized that yes, this string could create a huge amount of topspin if you want to. But I think the reason why I had so many difficulties to just brush up the ball when it was lower is due to the shape of this string. It was a bit harder for me to find the edge and so to brush up the ball. But in general, when the ball is at regular heights, it's totally fine. In terms of feel, one of the best feeling string because it's actually really comfortable, but you're also having this weird feeling of, not weird in a bad way, but like weird feeling of, you know, hitting a really like stiff string without having the discomfort of a stiff string. So that's a weird thing to say, but actually it's the way that I felt when I was trying the Wasabi. And so in general, that's why I've really enjoyed this string. You have a comfortable string that can put some spin and that has some feel, So what can you ask more? Finally, I would recommend this string to players who are seeking for a comfortable string, but at the same time who don't want to lose spin potential, don't want to lose feeling in general. There's no type of player that could benefit more from other to play with this one. So whether you're a grinder from the baseline or you're doing serve and volley, this string could be a great fit for you. And I think that's why, this string worth the hype. So let me know in the comment section down below, is the TOROLINE Wasabi meant for you or not? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.